Hey y'all, welcome back. This is the Wood Round or Wreath Challenge. It's a collaboration between myself and a handful of other really awesome creators. We're bringing you crafts. It could be a wreath, it could be made out of wooden rounds, or like in my instance, it could be both. So if you would, please look down in the comments and in the description box. I'm going to have a comment down there for you and a link to where you can view all of the other videos. So watch mine, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and then go check out everyone else. All right, y'all, let us get started. So first off, what I have here is a wooden round. I got this bag of wooden rounds for like $6 at Hobby Lobby. You can look at Michael's, Walmart, wherever you can get craft supplies. Most places carry these. You're also going to need a glass bottle. Now, these came from Hobby Lobby. They were over like in the kids crafting section, you know, with the pom-poms and the pipe cleaners and such. And this is for sand. You know how you layer sand like in plastic bottles? These are glass. But you get a whole package of them here for $1.79, which is not a bad deal. You're also going to need some magnets because we want to attach this little bottle here to this wooden round, but we're going to do it with a magnet so that you can remove it. Now, I've seen some people make these, and they're not removable. You know, that can cause a problem if you need to clean out the little glass container. But come here. Come here. I'm sorry if y'all hear noise in the background. I got a fan going because it's hot. It be hot in here. And I also have a bottle of water, and also I'm not wearing pants. So y'all are hanging out with me, and I'm not wearing pants. So I'm going to take this magnet and put that here. Let's see. That looks pretty good. So I'm just going to use a blob of hot glue right there. Oops. I also have some E6000. Now I'm just going to put a little bit right here. So the hot glue is going to tack it into place. And then the E6000 is going to set up really well and give us long-term hold, okay? Because if you have cats, dogs, and feral children running around, you don't want them bumping this while it's laying on your craft table and then it all falls apart. I mean, I'm on the verge of falling apart at any given time, but you don't want your crafts to fall apart. So now we're going to take this other magnet and glue it to the back here. Once again, we're going to use just a little bit of E6000, and we're just going to put that there. You don't want your hot glue and your E6000 to mix, if at all possible, because that weakens the bond. Okay, now we're just going to put this, you hear my dog playing in the background. We're just going to glue that there. Now, let this E6000 set up, and then once that is set up, we'll come back and finish. All right, so this glue has set up, and I had to make another one because my cat in her infinite wisdom knocked my bottle down and cracked the top off of it. So anyway, listen to me, please. Before you start working on anything, you have to make sure that your E6000 is set up, okay? Also, when you put the magnets here, please, please, please make sure that the magnets are of the correct side where they're sticking together. Because you know if you put the magnets, whoa, with the wrong sides together, they're going to repel each other, right? So just make sure and keep that in mind. So now let's open up this moss. And let's glue some of this down. And then, whoa, hey. And then we're going to glue the little mushrooms on here. These are really super easy to make. You know, so good for craft fairs. You know, senior citizen groups. Of course, you know, you could help with the glue gun. But you know what? You don't have to use the glue gun. You could just use the E6000. You know, just give it a good amount of time to set up. All right. And I like layering the magnets like this because you see how it gives lift to the bottle. So it's like not flat on there. So that it gives your plant room. Depending on the plant you put in here, you know. It gives your plant room so it's not laying flush up against the back and bumping into anything. So let me finish gluing on my moss. Alright, so now I'm trimming off some of this moss and the glue strings. Oh, they're on me. Alright. So, is it hot where you are? I'm surprised. Our weather's been so weird. It's like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And today it's hot. It's rainy, but it's hot. So I got my fan on, my water. You got to stay hydrated, friends. I know we get to craft and we forget. All right, so let's glue all this on. Please don't burn myself. Okay, just going to tuck these down there. Let's see. Nah, we won't take this out and glue that there. Give that a chance to settle. I think I'm just going to leave those over there. Okay. I'm going to trim this a little bit. Okay. All right. So now let's get something to make a hanger. All right. So I was looking for my thinner twine. I have this rope here. Once again, Walmart and any craft store. All right. So let us, oh, there's a doohickey. You see the doohickey? I don't like the doohickey. Like the little pieces of dried glue. Okay, and then we're just going to glue this on to the back here and use that as a hanger. Then you're going to fill your bottle with water and then put in your plant clipping. Hold on. I've got to hold this in place. Okay, like that. Now you can tack this in place even with some E6000. You can use a drill a hole through it, run your twine through that. Don't hang this in a window or anything if you're hot gluing it, because then the glue can melt and it's going to fall apart. Anyway, here is this. So far, how cute is that? All right, so let's put some water in here and our piece of plant. All right, friends, moving right along. We have this grapevine wreath. This is an 18-inch wreath, and I got this at Walmart. So let us cut this off. And we also have a box, whoa, Nelly, of this decorative bowl filler from Better Homes and Gardens. Got this at Walmart. Now, this is over in with the artificial flowers. At least in my store it is. So we're just going to open this up. And I see that there's some really nice pieces in here. And basically what we're going to, oh, Lordy. Basically what we're going to be doing is gluing these to our wreath form. Now, if you don't want to use a grapevine, of course, you know, you can use a wire wreath frame, wrap it in ribbon or burlap or something like that to give you a nice base on which to glue things. Or you can use a styrofoam base if that's what you have. But as with styrofoam, make sure that you also wrap that in something like burlap or ribbon so the hot glue won't melt it, okay? But see, we have like these nice wooden flowers here. Are these not pretty? And then we have like some of these wooden chunks. I'm interested in these flowers. And then, you know, we have, whoa, we have like, you know, various pieces like this here. Okay, so we got a bunch of different stuff that we can work with. And basically, I'm just going to, oh, look at this, like with this seed pod here. This is pretty nice. You can find a place to tuck that down in there. But yeah, I'm going to dig out some of these pieces and see what all we got. All right, so here's some of the bigger pieces, and these are sort of like a reddish color. Now, the ribbon that I got to make the bow is burlap ribbon, and I've got like the regular brown burlap. You know, let's see which way we want this to face. This is sort of like oval shaped, so you know what? Let's just roll with that. But basically, we're just putting hot glue all over the place. But like I said, the ribbon that I'm going to use for the bow is burlap, and I thought that would look very, you know, nice with this because this looks sort of rustic, you know. Okay. And you see the ends of these flowers just kind of tucked down, you know, in between here pretty nicely. So I am just going to glue things on here and there. And that's going to take me a hot minute to do, so I'm not going to make you watch me do the whole daggone thing. I'm just going to glue things down, and then once I get everything like that into place, we'll come back and start filling it in. All right, so I have a few of these things glued on, and now what I have over here is, I have a massive bag of this Spanish moss, okay? So I'm just going to start tucking the Spanish moss down among these thingies. We don't want a whole lot on here because we don't want to detract from the fact that we are working with grapevine. So I'm just going to put a little here and there, and then we'll go back and put in some of these like these seed pods and whatnot. So you just tuck it in here, there, and everywhere, and leave space at the bottom to put the bow. I don't know exactly how big I want the bow. I'm thinking. But you know, once I decide how big I want that, then we'll put that on the bottom and then just kind of start bringing everything down around it. All right, so this is kind of sort of what we have. And I know it's difficult to see like this on a camera. But, oh shoot, what am I doing? I ain't rightly sure. We're making a mess is what I'm currently doing with this glue. So now we're just going on with these little seed pods. And then we have a few more of these twigs. Now I'm just going to try to work in here, there, and everywhere just to, you know, use some of this stuff up. May use a few little pieces of this wood. Kind of like the wood. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to keep working. All right, friends. So this is the bow that I made. Let's just fluff it up a little bit. If you've been following me for any length of time, then you know that this is my easy no-tie bow. I don't make this on camera because I have done it so many times before and I'm not trying to waste your time. But if you want to see how I made this bow, please look down in the comments and in the description box, and I'm going to have a link to the video for you where I show you how to make this bow and you don't have to tie anything, okay? It'll look better once we get on the wreath and I get it fluffed and, you know, everything is symmetrical. Anyway, what I used for this particular bow this 2.5-inch wired burlap ribbon from Walmart, and then this reddish colored burlap ribbon. This is 1.5 inches wide. This also came from Walmart. So let's just get that out of the way. All right, so now we're gonna bring our wreath back over here. Now let's prop it up. Stop. Lord have mercy. All right, now you can either wire this bow on or you can glue it on. I think just for the sake of this video, because this is not going to be placed outside, okay? I think just for the sake of the video, I'm going to glue it on. But if you want to, you can wire it on. Let's see. Yeah, let's go right about... And this loop is larger than what I want it to be. It'll look okay when I get on there, though. Okay. So now we can put this bow on and then bring the moss down and put some more of this stuff kind of like up against it just to kind of fill it in a little bit. Okay. So let me glue this bow on and glue on a few more things, and that will be that. All right, so now I'm just gluing in some more of this moss. Now listen, how do you go about hanging this? Well, if you want, you can take a piece of ribbon, loop it around the top, hang it that way, or you can take a piece of floral wire and just run it like down through, you know, like just the little loopy loops there. Run a piece of wire through it. Hold on, get more moss. And then you can hang it up that way, you know, so whichever works best for you, that's what you shall do. But anyway, you've already seen this at the beginning of the video. If you would, stick around to the end of the video. We want to have another photo for you. Give this video a thumbs up. Click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media. The links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.